Hello, 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 boys and girls. Have you ever wondered where the characters from the point and click adventure Deponia would go to if they were actually students at Hogwarts? Yeah, that's a very silly question, of course, but I'm going to dig into that. Before I'm going to sort these characters into their houses, first, a quick overview of the founders and the requirements to be in their houses. First of all, of course, Godric Gryffindor, who wanted to see in his students most of all bravery and chivalry. Helga Hufflepuff would take on any student, regardless if they had any abilities, but the house was known for fairness, equality, and hard working. Rowena Ravenclaw valued the most intelligence and creativity, and Salazar Slytherin was most of all known for wanting ambition and being cunning. Well, with that all out of the way, let's start sorting. And then the first one that I will sort is Wenzel. Now, Wenzel is introduced. I will, by the way, limit myself to the 3 parts of Deponia that come with the addition of the complete journey, as that is the only version I've played. That is basically Deponia 1, 2 and 3. Wenzel triggers the illusion that he might be a very important key character in the entire series, but the truth is that he only appears in the first part of the first installment of Deponia. He is an incredibly lazy bum who pretends to be friends with Rufus, but actually he is merely trying to exploit him. And that is basically the way Wenzel always goes. As soon as he got to work for it, he'll pass, but as soon as he can get things the easy way by exploiting others, he is right there to do it. I guess I can only sort him in one house, and that would, in the end, be Slytherin. Now, Tony is a harder character to place, and that is because the only feature that is very prominent in the game about her is her hatred for her ex-boyfriend Rufus. And since Rufus is the main protagonist of the game, which is also the reason why I will sort him last, we basically only see this feature about her in the most prominent way. Yet we do see her running a shop in the first part. In the second part, we can see her devoted to the task she's given to keep an eye on the dolphins. And ultimately, we do see her fight when the going gets tough. And yeah, that makes that I am more judging on feeling than on proper argumentation. But in the end, I think I will stick with Gryffindor. Lottie is also a hard one to judge. He has, or she has, it's your choice, very little screen time, only in the first and the last Deponia game, and not even the most prominent. Of course, Lottie was a parody to transsexuality, so that feature comes out the most. However, none of the houses really seem to have a kind of opinion about that one. Although I think I should disqualify Slytherin on that one. Lottie does do what she is supposed to do, and I guess that's it. I think I'll stick with Hufflepuff. With Doc, we have, of course, a character who does appear the opposite from Wenzel in the way he enters the story, where Wenzel was creating the illusion that he would be a very important character, but turns out to be a minor character only to appear in the very first start of the trilogy. Doc comes in as a character that doesn't seem of any importance at all and will eventually turn out to be one of the game's major characters. Although Doc is not a saint, he does a few dirty tricks. I would not sort him in Slytherin. Doc's feature is, of course, most of all his work as a gadgeteer. He knows pretty much about the stuff. He is very creative in trying to find solutions with the problems with Goal's brain implant. So in the end, I think I should stick with Ravenclaw. Cletus, no-brainer, Slytherin. He is only thinking of himself, his ambition. He keeps Goal for himself, but he doesn't love her at all. It is just her status and, of course, the Ascension codes stored in her brain implant. His own interest is all he cares about and all he works for. And not a single method is too dirty, too disgusting to keep him away from what he wants. So yeah, that was a very obvious no-brainer. Slytherin it will be. Argus, I guess in English pronounced as Argus, also known as Herr Amtmann in German or bailiff in English. Yeah, just like Cletus, he is a no-brainer for Slytherin. And he pretends to be a soldier fixed to his duties, but he too is actually just an asshole going for his own ambitions only. So yeah, what else can I say about him? It's another right for Slytherin here. Bozo was also a no-brainer for me. He's a very calm guy. Only once he really loses his temper with Rufus, and that takes a very long time to get to that point, which shows that he has a lot of patience. He doesn't judge too easily, even though he hates being called a pirate by Rufus, which Rufus insists on doing. In the end, he always provides a helping hand. He is fair, has a lot of patience, cuts short all the traits that are known to the house of Helga Hufflepuff. And with Donna, we have the first character who in this list who makes her appearance in the second installment of Deponia, and she is actually next to impossible to sort. And why is that? Because it is she always acts in a way that doesn't make sense at all, doing of course she has a brain implant, but the only time that she actually communicates in a way that makes sense is when the data cartridge from Goal's brain implant is implanted into hers, basically meaning that the person talking to you is then not Donna but Gol in Donna's body, so that doesn't count. She is of course the leader of die ungeorganisierten Verbrechen, in English the unorganized crime, that would plead for Slytherin. However, I don't see any features that really place her there, and I'm really not sure if it's really her leading the unorganized crime or if it's the unorganized crime leading her. For now, I will place her in Hufflepuff, but that is basically for lack of other options. Bambini, also known as Bambi, is of course the girlfriend of Bozo. She is a very hot-tempered woman. She's actually downright dangerous. It was very hard for me to sort, as she has too little screen time to come to a proper judgment. For the time being, I will place her into Gryffindor. I think she will kill me if I placed her in any other house anyway. Uppenbat is just a downright idiot of the first degree, so that's a no-brainer. None of the qualities any of the founders prize can I point out to him. He's just an idiot. He will basically be in the House of Helga Hufflepuff simply because none of the other founders will have him. That is as simple as that. Seagull is easy, Slytherin. He is just a downright asshole of the first degree. Of course, that alone doesn't qualify you for Slytherin. However, he does nothing unless it suits him. However, if it suits him, he goes very far, pushes everyone aside, and is not even above killing his own son, even though it is through adoption. So he lacks courage, he lacks intelligence, even though he pretends to be intelligent, and he is definitely not fair or hardworking. It's just his own interest he cares about, and he does a few more evil things, which, yeah, just play the game yourself, but I think you will come to the same conclusion. Slytherin it will be, and none other. Gol is perhaps one of the hardest characters to place, but I think I have come to a decision. What makes Gol harder to place, even though she is, after Rufus, the most important character of the game, is her brain implant. It malfunctions in nearly 80 to 90% of her screen time, and dividing her personality into several programs: Spunky Gol, Lady Gol, and Baby Gol. But basically they only form one side of her personality, and basically none of them are tempered down by sense of limits, morality, and those kinds of things. Of course, she does act normally at the very start of the game, but very soon after her brain implant gets damaged, and it is only halfway the third game that her brain implant gets fixed at last, so her true personality will come out. But after that she has actually lesser screen time. However, I think I will place her in Gryffindor. She does show courage in the time that she is actually able to act like she'd normally do. She does stand there to stand up to her superiors, even to her own father. She dares to go pretty far in standing up for Rufus, the main character, but also the most hated character by most other characters, risking getting their hatred upon her. She doesn't stand back for doing that she believes to be the right thing to do at the time. So I think that all pleads for the house of Godric Gryffindor. And last but not least, of course, the main protagonist, our anti-hero Rufus. Rufus is downright arrogant, but when the going gets tough, he dares to stand up for that what he believes to be right. And that is very important to remember. However, most of the game he is pretty much plotting and cunning and not backing out from doing things the disgusting way, not easily taking no for an answer, and basically that makes that he is a headstall. For those who are not well versed in the Harry Potter lore, a headstall means that the sorting hat, which is in this case me, needed more than 5 minutes to come to a decision, and I think you already know which two houses are coming to mind. That would of course be Gryffindor and Slytherin. I am tempted to go for Gryffindor, and that is because he dares to make the ultimate sacrifice at the end of the game. But there is a little bit to it, and that is because Hermes explains that there is something with Rufus that gives him a little disregard for life and death, a trait he shares with both Cletus and Argus. And when it comes to death, we can actually wonder if his braver actions are actually bravery or just his disregard for death. Of course, he has a very strong will to protect Gaul, but that is of course because he is in love with her, and that also therefore turns out to be more in his own interest. So in the end, I think I will still go for Slytherin, as that is basically what in most of the game is, are his most prominent features. Ambition. The entire game he tries to get himself into Elysium. He doesn't take no for an answer. He is also not above using people to get what he wants. Not even Gaul, who is also abused several times into his favor, no matter how much he is in love with her. When the going gets tough, he does appear to have a good heart at some moments. He is definitely not as bad as his two counterparts Argus and Cletus. But in the end, I still think I have to go for Slytherin. And well, that's it. And that makes that I judged 13 characters, with Rufus as the 13th. Well, I guess 13 is the unlucky number. That Rufus was the 13th to be judged in this video might be quite symbolic to his character. Anyway, all stuff taken aside, this is the end to this video. Do you agree with my sortings, or do you have other theories here? Or with the people which I was really troubled with to sort, perhaps you have some things to bring in that might make me change my mind about them. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye now. See you in another video of mine. Toodles!